big sound in a small town, far away from the big city lights, making music every night. Good music with all our friends. Tell everybody, tell your mama and them, we're going out and we're getting down. A big sound in a small town. A big sound in a small town. A big sound in a small town. A big sound in a small town.
Hi, welcome to Season 4 of Big Sound Small Town. I'm your host, Sandy Carlton. Join me as musicians tell their stories about how they became musicians and the stories along the way.
My name's Jasmine Melton, and I'm here at the Earl Scruggs Center with Sandy Carlton.
That's good. I'm glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here too.
So it's the first time you've been here?
It is. I was excited to meet you and come check the place out.
That's the good selling point, is we're here in the Earl Scruggs Center, which is a really fabulous place.
I have to come back when the lights are on so I can see everything.
Yeah, that's the bad thing. She actually came on a day that it's not open, so she looked at some really cool stuff that she couldn't see.
Oh, I'll be back.
Good. That's good.
Check it out.
And you can bring your kids and they can play with all the music.
I want this room in my house.
Yeah, I'd like to have this room in my house too. So you're back in the radio business again.
Yeah, I took a little break. It was actually this time last year that I stopped doing mountain mornings for a while. Just decided to switch it up, and then I started doing local color back in the fall. Still subbing some. Well,
let's go to Mountain Mornings. How did that actually come about?
Just getting real lucky. I started just as a sub, and then Laura Blackley was doing Mountain Mornings at that time. And I guess she left the station. Tom Pittman did it for a while, and there was just an opening, and they said, do you want to give it a try? And I said, all right, we'll see what happens. So
did you know somebody over there? I mean, that's a coveted job. Any of the slots over at WNCW is pretty coveted DJ jobs.
I wish I had a cooler story, but I just kept showing up to fun drives and volunteering and was like, I really want to do something down here.
That's good,
so
though.
I just kept bugging them until they put me on the payroll.
Persistence.
Yeah.
So I know you were excited when you did your first show. Do you remember your first show?
No, and I hope nobody else does either, because really? It was a nightmare. I started with Arc Overnight.
Yeah, Arc Overnight, yeah.
Yeah, and, it takes a while to get comfortable with yourself.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it does. But the beautiful thing about Arc Overnight is that the listening audience is a nocturnal one that is.
They're a little more forgiving.
They are, and not as many listeners, yeah. and I'm not saying that their state of mind sometimes is not the same as daytime state of mind.
Right.
Yeah,
so. They kept letting me come back. So.
Oh, that's good. Well, were you doing that live?
I did it live several times, and then I recorded it too. But
did you do it live before you did it recorded?
No, I had to start out just to learn the board
right.
and cut a few hours for Joe to listen to first, and it took a while before I started doing it live. But
So you just bug Joe to put you on.
yeah.
I'm gonna let you on, but I'm gonna put you on in the middle of the night.
Well, it's not a bad slot, and sometimes I miss it because you can play
just about anything that you want to. I mean, did you have much choice on Arc Overnight?
Oh yeah, I mean, the library for Arc is actually huge, so you could.
I'm sure. Your morning show is a smaller library.
Oh yeah, I go all over the place. Anything from
Yeah.
Smith's. No, wait a minute, I want to hear reggae right now.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, you had that option to do
Yeah.
all of that. So it's well, that helps a lot. You know, it's yeah, I can see where that would be a lot of fun.
It's a good way to cut my teeth.
Then, so did you have a problem? Was it easy to learn? You know, the equipment.
Well, I didn't actually take like any of the broadcasting. You know.
Right.
None of that. So it's just like operating a real fancy CD player.
Okay.
Most of that's pretty simple. I know that there's a whole lot more to it, but just for what I do on the
I mean, you just like show up during the day and record it for the night. Is that what you would do?
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, just well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you get? Okay, so you probably came into that knowing a lot of music, but so Arc Overnight, you probably didn't discover a lot of stuff that you didn't already know about, right?
Well, that wasn't music that I listened to. I mean, I grew up more rootsy, bluegrass, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
So that did expand your music horizons.
Yeah, blew my mind a few times. What is this?
Right.
I spent a lot of time just listening to stuff down there, but yeah, there's genres I didn't even know, like psych, folk, rock, folk, and all kinds of stuff.
So did you feel more comfortable then when you moved to bluegrass?
Oh yeah. The first time, one of the first times that they asked me to fill in for going across the mountain, I was like, all right, I think I can do this. And
it felt a little better, a little more comfortable
yeah.
with that.
Oh yeah.
So, but now you're doing something totally different.
Yep, and I'm having to learn stuff that I didn't know, because I know we have so much talent locally, but there's so many groups that I just never heard of. So
right.
I've got friends helping, and
oh yeah, I mean that is a really cool thing that they do with that. I mean, local color is a really great deal for local artists.
Right, and I try to keep that in mind, that there might be folks that might not get airplay anywhere else.
True.
So you're it's like a service too.
Well, there's also, I mean, that's not really much a stretch. There's a lot of people who are in the regular rotation that don't get a lot of play at other places too. Right. That would be, I mean, I am betting that Bela Fleck does not get a lot of plays anywhere. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that, although has a huge cult following, listening to him on the radio is not the easiest thing you can find. I mean,
right.
I mean, you can go up and you can go find Luke Bryan 5 times on your dial, but you know, you can't find Bela.
I know, and that's one thing that is so cool about WNCW. I mean, that's what I grew up listening to, knowing how different and how unique it was,
right.
And so it's one of the coolest things I've ever been able to be part of.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it is. I have done everything from volunteer there to beyond stuff there. So it's just a great thing for Western North Carolina. I mean, sometimes I wish it had a broader listening base. I mean, a lot of that. Well, now in the advent, you can pull it up online, which really helps. Yeah,
it's pretty wild. It blew my mind. Some of the fund drives, the pledges would come in. And
different
countries.
Oh yeah, I know.
We got people in New Zealand.
That was one of the things. Okay, so the first time I'm running the phones there, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get people from Rutherford County. Mm-hmm. It's not that far to Spartanburg, Greenville, Spartanburg, upstate area. They get some maybe to Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Oh no, it came in from all over the place.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh,
So I had a guy I'll never forget. He sent me an email one time when I was doing mountain mornings, and he said he was somewhere in France or something. He's like, it's more like mountain evenings over here.
Oh, yeah, I
but
guess
we
it is.
stream you. And I guess he was from Asheville or something, but it's pretty cool how.
Can kind of keep those roots in touch in a whole different country.
Right.
That is kind of wild that you don't even think about that.
I know.
It's also like musicians sometimes, they have pockets of places that seem to really like them, like Cleveland, Ohio. We'll use my buddy David Childers. He's big in Ohio. He may be bigger in Ohio than he is in North Carolina. But it's just weird. I guess he connects with people from Ohio.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird the way that works. I know one of the guys from Bottle Rockets told me one time that they sold more records in Florida, and they're from Missouri, and they sold tons of records in Florida, and every time they toured there, they had big crowds and sold a lot of merchandise. And then they'd move up like to Georgia, and it would be them and the club owner and maybe 4 people.
Huh. I wonder what it is.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I guess, music it's kind of hard to figure. I can never figure who gets listens on the podcast. People that I think are going to get just tons of them.
Right.
Don't. And then other people that I think there's not a chance in the world anybody's going to pay any attention to this, they'll just get a ton of them.
Yep. That's the winner there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that it's just, I just put it to, I don't know, Jack. Just what
Right.
I'm not.
See what sticks.
See what sticks. Yeah, I kind of throw it out there and see what sticks. I guess you do you get opportunities to MC places through your DJ work at the station. I mean, people hit you up and say, will you come DJ this or MC it, not DJ. Well, I don't know. Do you get DJ work out of that?
I've never done any DJ work.
Me either.
I think it would be fun, but I've never done it. I've MC'd a few festivals. The Kruger Brothers Festival up in Wilkesboro, Carolina in the fall. I've done that one a few times, and that one's fun. I remember one time Zoe and Cloyd.
Yeah.
They were playing, and it was cool because I was going to spend the night, and they put us up in a hotel and everything. And I came down that morning and was going to, get your free breakfast in the hotel. And there's Zoe and Cloyd.
Sitting there.
Yeah, Kevin and all of them. And I'm like, can I sit here? And yeah, come on over. And I felt like one of the cool kids getting to.
Yeah, I played at Merlefest one time and got to stay in a hotel and I ate breakfast with Earl Scruggs.
Oh my gosh!
And and I thought, oh, how cool is this? And my time spot that we played in was like 10 in the morning in the pouring rain.
Oh.
So there was like 4 people there, but I did get to eat breakfast.
Right, it's all worth it. It didn't matter how the rest of the trip went.
Yeah. I mean, so it's one of those deals, but. You're a musician, right?
I guess like a closet musician, or I like to.
A closet musician?
Closet musician. I do like to play, though.
You have a really good voice.
Well, thank you.
I've heard it is good.
My dad played when I was growing up. We'd just always sit out in the garage. And,
sing and play.
Yeah, so it was just always there and something for us. We got along real good, probably only because of the music.
I do understand that.
But and I play my boys. I've got my oldest son's in band playing saxophone.
Oh, that's great.
My youngest dabbles in about everything. So
a lot of people come through here that are musicians, and it's funny to me that how many of them got their start in middle school band, high school band.
Oh yeah.
Or the church. It's one of the other usually. And some of them's parents played. Mm-hmm. But it's strange where they decide they're going to do that at. And I do believe that I don't know how cool it is anymore to be in the band, but it's a great place to learn the basics of music and music theory. I do believe that.
Oh, when he came home and said, "Mom, I'd like to be in band," I said, "We'll do whatever we need to do."
Sure.
I just want to encourage it, and he's learning how to read music, which is something I never learned how
Right.
to. So it's awesome to see him.
I think it's
enjoy
a great thing. I think it's a great thing to learn. I think it helps you. I mean, I know tons of really successful musicians that can't read it, and I know a bunch of musicians, and myself included, who can but never have opportunity to. You know, I mean, but it can't hurt you. It can only make you a better musician. Plus, you learn about timing and how to count music comes with that, which is a problem in music. I mean, I think of all the fundamentals you get from something like band, learning to count time. Okay, I know I have a lot of people who've been on here that's been singers, but singers do not know how to come in because they've done nothing but sing, so they can't count time, so they want to come in early or they want to come in late, and, you know.
That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other music, you know, regular musicians learn how to do that, but singers never do. They're terrible about that. I know. Y'all know who you are. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
I ain't dropping no names.
No, I don't have to. They're all, singers know.
They're all turning red right now.
Singers, the wonderful thing about singers is they get all the spotlight stuff, and they're the fronts of bands, and everyone knows who they are, and they still can't count themselves in. Band practice.
Right.
No, this is where you come in.
Yeah.
So for a change, Kevin, I'm not talking about you. But yeah, there's only good things about band. So okay, tell me again. So you had a love for music right off the bat from your family. Is that where that came from? We'll go back to that.
I grew up hearing it in church, a lot of gospel music. Most of the time they weren't like plugged in. It'd be just a bunch of them huddled together. So I loved it there. That was my favorite part about church.
Food
to the music.
Only part I could stay awake for usually.
But my dad was probably the biggest reason, because I mean, flipping through the records and listening to it. And
so he had records, and he had.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And it was always totally different than everything my friends were listening to. Oh,
that's cool.
But, you know,
I mean, that kind of though sneaks in and absorbs. My parents' record collection kind of stunk.
Oh.
Although I grew up listening to, the only radio station I could get was a blues station, so I grew up wanting to be a blues player. I thought it was the only music in the world for a long time because it was the only radio station I could get. So I did not. And then I had to listen to their big band stuff, which I can tolerate big band stuff. You know, it's pretty full.
It's not the worst thing you could have been.
Actually, one of the coolest things I've ever seen is a guy named Cab Calloway. And Cab was great, man. I love that stuff. You know,
everybody's
yeah. Plus, I've seen the videos of him traveling on the train.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, stuff like that is really cool. They had the Sons of Pioneers too, which I could never relate to. It was like Texas swing, if it sucked.
Okay.
You know?
I'm trying to imagine what.
It's not good. It wasn't good. I have not. Plus, I grew up too in the Lawrence Welk era, where that would be on TV too.
Okay.
So outside of the blues, most of the music I heard growing up, I could have took or listened. But I was going to be a blues player, so it didn't matter.
Well, that's a good way to start out.
Yeah, it was a great way to start out. Of course, then, you know, the Beatles come along and stuff like that, and it all changes. And we finally live someplace that has other radio stations that weren't 600 miles away.
Right.
But you realize the importance, though, that like DJs have on music. I mean, you know, it's one of the things about this podcast is music is nowhere without listeners. I mean, you can play it, but after a point, you'd probably quit playing if no one listened.
Right.
And the greatest thrill as a musician in the world is to hear your music played on the radio.
That's what I've
I mean, to me, the first time I did that was just like magic. I mean, at that point in my life, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And really, in actuality, it's nothing, but it's one of the small.
I wouldn't say it's nothing.
It is it's one of the. I think life is about little small victories, little small gifts, as opposed to the great big thing. And if you amount a bunch of little small victories, then you have a pretty successful life. And that is one of the ones that I thought was just one of the greatest things in the world.
And that's cool to hear too, because being on the other end of that, sometimes I forget, that it does mean so much. So it's not, and then you're like, oh yeah.
I don't think it ever gets old either.
No,
I mean, maybe if you played it, if it was there all the time, maybe it would be. Mm-hmm. But like, we'll take your artists that come on, that are played on WNCW. They probably don't get to hear themselves on the radio, say like WSM, if you're running the latest country guys, they can hear themselves 3 times in a day, 4 times,
If they even know that they're, they're probably so busy.
They probably are so busy.
Being rock stars.
Yeah, probably. Well, it looks to me like the only people that really get played on the radio in a big rate anymore is either country music stars or rappers. Then you get played a lot. Mm-hmm. Rest of the musicians are probably still as tickled every time as they hear it,
It is a cool thing. I had Taylor Martin from Nashville.
Yeah.
I think it was last week's show. And he hit me up on Facebook and said, thanks WNCW. Yeah. It made my night. And I was like, oh yeah, it is. It's really cool how it's.
It is. I mean, also it's what you do gives back to a community, not only to the music community, but to the it gives to the musician community, but it also gives back to music lovers, because without music lovers, then there's no reason. I mean, I put a lot of stock in people who run venues, people who promote music. I mean, it takes. For music to be a community, takes a lot of individuals doing their things that help it. Right. Also, DJs, you take on personalities too. You realize that, right?
Yeah, it's took me a while to. I know what you're saying though, but.
I mean, you become a celebrity to a degree. No, it's true. I mean. You do, and people.
You met me, Sandy.
Yeah, and I know. I
was going to say what a dork I am in real life.
Oh, I'm a dork too. But see, but it's a personification. I mean, it's a mystery. People don't know. You create a whole different person almost. I mean, it's really cool about it, and people take interest to the personalities behind the mics. I mean. They have for years. I mean, a whole different deal, but kind of the same as, you ever seen, who John Boy and Billy are?
Oh, yeah.
John Boy and Billy, if you see them away from being John Boy and Billy, it's not the same thing. I mean, so you get a whole new, take on it. It's a great thing. I mean, it's great for the communities. It's great for radio. It's great for music. And you've done that really well. I mean, you have.
I always thought one of the things I admired about, I won't drop any names, but there are certain DJs at WNCW, and for me, one of the hardest things was to sound comfortable when I'm when I'm behind the mic. And so the ones that I always admired the most were the ones that sounded exactly the same behind the mic.
Right.
When they were talking to you, they didn't have to.
Right. Change. They don't change their voice.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you actually have perfected that pretty well. Plus you have, there's a uniqueness to voices, and your voice is pretty unique on the radio.
Well, well.
I'm sure you've heard that, you know.
I like I said, they keep letting me come down there, so I'll keep talking. And they keep letting me, so it all works out good. I'm super grateful for it, though. It's still fun after be 9 years next month.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, so it's still fun.
Oh, and I guess you've met so many people through that, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've had some really awesome days at work, not to brag, but there's been some times where I was like, I can't believe I'm standing in this room right now.
Right.
The Kruger brothers.
Yeah.
Jason Isbell.
Yeah, Jason Isbell.
I was just like,
yeah.
Can I just sit over here and watch? I'll be
Sure.
real quiet.
I know. I mean, yeah, that is really, really cool, and that is part of it that comes with it.
It's yeah.
Do you have a favorite person you've met?
The Kruger brothers were a hoot. They were just so funny. But I guess Jason is.
Yeah.
You know, how can
Okay. I mean, okay.
I'm sorry. And his wife Amanda was a sweetheart too.
Oh, she was with him?
Yes, they sang together, and she played the fiddle. And
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
Yeah, Jason's a nice guy.
Yeah, he was.
And fabulous musician.
Oh yeah. That was probably the first time I'd heard them sing together, and I was like, wow, they should do that more often.
Oh, it's also different when you see it like where you got to see them do it as opposed to going and paying to see them on stage.
Right, yeah.
Totally different thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's, that's been one of the cool things about this is sometimes I sit, 10 feet away from some pretty amazing people that it never gets old.
Right. Yeah. I don't have a Willie Nelson story or anything.
Well, you got a Jason Isbell story, which a lot of people don't have, And you got a Jason Isbell story that's not a drive-by trucker story.
That's true, yeah.
So
him and Amanda. She likes Dr. Pepper, by the way.
She
get a Dr. Pepper
she likes
out of the
Dr.
drink
Pepper.
machine.
Oh, I love to know stuff like that. It's one of those
In case
things.
you want to know if you ever run into it.
Yeah, I like that. It's yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess people know that I can't live without Sundrop too. So
okay, all right.
So it's about
I'll
as
know what to bring next time.
exactly. It's my life is you see riders and contracts. You got to have all kind of stuff. You've seen the riders, y'all. Just all kind of stuff. Sundrop was on mine. So.
Okay. All right. Chocolate on the pillow and a Sundrop.
Exactly. Pretty much. That
right.
pretty much covers it. But what else we need to know? Who would you like to see that you haven't seen that come into
somebody that ain't alive now?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay. I wish I'd have got to see Tom Petty. I know that.
Oh, yeah, I seen. It would have been great if Tom would have come to the station.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen Tom, in concert. I've never seen Tom not in concert. I have seen up pretty close and personal a lot of people, but Tom, I'd like to see Tom myself.
Oh, yeah.
I would have liked to seen any of the band.
Well, yeah. See, that I should have said that. You're right. But you said you met Rick. So.
Just Rick, though. That's the only one.
At least you can say that, though.
He might have been my favorite anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I read the Robbie Robinson book, and I don't know that I'd like Robbie out. Yeah, I don't know. Robbie, I don't think you'll be listening to this, Robbie, but possibly you're a jerk, bud.
That's what I've heard and read, too. Yeah.
Although you're talented, I will give you that.
No.
But a lot of people are talented that are jerks, too, so it doesn't have anything to do with talent. It's nice to know nice people, though.
Yeah, that was always cool. The few times if I knew an artist was coming down at the station, if I met them and they were super cool, and then I met some that I was like,
yeah, I met them too.
Oh, I like you.
I wish I didn't like your music.
I know, 'cause you're kind of a jerk.
You're kind of a jerk. Yeah. I've had those guys too.
Yeah, and that always
and
bursts
girls.
your bubble, but
it does, and I have tried to run things through my mind like everybody has bad days.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being on the road. You probably have more bad days than you do than if you just are at home.
Right.
I mean, just think you could be on the radio and you could come out and that didn't go well, and you could say, yeah, throw something, you know. Oh, Jasmine, I don't know about Jasmine, you know. No.
She's struggling today.
I met Jasmine one time. No, I think you're probably always nice.
Well, you can tell them that on the podcast.
That'll work. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you, people who are listening.
Nice.
She is always nice. And I'm not saying that try to get her to play my music. No, it's just a joke.
Oh, you should make sure I leave my CD.
No, nobody needs to hear that stuff anymore.
No, don't say that.
Have you heard anybody new that you liked since you started doing local color?
There's Abby Bryant, who is originally, I think I read from Gastonia, but she's in Nashville now.
Oh, yeah.
She's really good. She played when we did the holidays for Habitat
Yeah.
benefit,
Mm-hmm.
and she's got a really good voice. And she plays, I think she's real good buddies with the Travers brothers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been real impressed.
Oh,
with
that's
her new
good.
record. Yeah.
I always like to hear that. I always like. You see what I do. I'm always looking for new musicians and musicians that's not getting a lot of recognition.
Yeah.
So I always make a joke too that there's no musicians from Gastonia in Gastonia.
Well, yeah, she did move.
Well, if you're going to be a musician, you kind of got to get out of Gaston County. David being the exception, David Childers. So
right. Okay.
And there's probably someone else. Actually, one of the best. I don't know if we'll skip that.
Okay. All right.
No, I'll go ahead and say it. One of the best blues singers I've ever heard was Robin Rogers. She was from Gastonia, and she was one fine blues singer. Her husband still plays around in a band called Stepside Deluxe, I think.
Okay.
Tony. But Robin was from Gastonia, and she was really fabulous. Fred Durst don't count, I don't guess. So.
No, I wouldn't.
So.
Is that what he was? Was a musician? I thought he was like a tennis shoe model or something. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's about right for him. Yeah. But Gaston County's not known for producing a lot of musicians.
That's okay.
And a bunch of people hit me up and say, "That's not true." Yeah, it's true.
I'm just going to stay quiet for that one.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put it out there. Hey, I don't think Gaston County has a lot of good musicians.
There might be one coming around.
Well, maybe that'll prompt some of you too. I know that there was one who was there for a while. That Sammy Johns. I don't know if you know who Sammy Johns is. He has a song called Chevy Van.
Oh.
It was a big hit. It was a really big hit.
I know that song.
Yeah, everybody knows that song. He's from Gastonia.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He electrocuted himself tinkering in the back of a guitar amp.
Wow, what a way to go.
Yeah, what a way. Good story, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably the biggest hit to come out of Gaston County. Chevy Van.
Idea.
Yeah. Outside of that, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Rutherford County, Cleveland County, Lincoln County, they all have you beat. Oh wait, I take it back. I take that back. I'm backtracking. I'm backtracking. Darren, I'm sorry, buddy. You are from Gaston County. Darren Aldridge. Darren and Brooke.
Yeah. I actually.
Cherville.
Yeah.
So that's Gaston
Okay.
County. I'm sorry, Darren. I take that back.
Brooke lived in Avery County.
Yeah, she did.
And went to the little Bible school and Christmas plays at the church where she went to.
Yeah.
And she sang, and
yeah.
Even then she'd make the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
She still does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I take that back, Darren. I owe you an apology. There is an exception. All right, I've talked too much.
Is it Cherryville?
Turville.
Turville. Okay, all right. That's how I've heard it, but it doesn't look like it when it's spelled out. I'm never comfortable saying it because I'm not from there.
Oh yeah, Turville.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually Turville has produced some pretty fine musicians, which I guess that is Gastonia. They just not big time. I mean,
Well, the unspoken tradition.
yeah, exactly. That's where I was going with that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that was exactly. I mean, they haven't exactly hit the big time, but they're fine musicians.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and they have a good band.
I've seen those guys live.
Yeah, they're good.
Several, yeah. And they're all super nice.
They are super nice guys. And I probably need to eat my words and get them on here.
Oh yeah, you should. That'd be yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that. That is on my list. I have a list, and I'm open. If you're listening, or anytime you come across someone, Jasmine,
Okay.
let me know. I'm always open to new people.
Okay.
I have a list that long of people who contact me, but there's a difference between the people I contact and the people who contact me. Usually it's easier. You don't have to wait as long as if I contact you.
Right.
I mean, if you send me somebody, that's different, you know. But if you contact me on your own, generally, if your work is really good though, you can jump yourself fast. But you know, I get a lot of people who want to be on the show.
I'm sure you do.
That
I know what that's like.
You know, it's like, oh, I bet on local color you get all kind of stuff, don't you?
Well, I don't want to be mean because I appreciate it. You know, you always are like, yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah, you do.
There's been some, bless their hearts, you open it up and you're like, yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's the reality
Written with
of
Sharpie.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no track listed,
Yep.
and it's you know.
And that's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a guy one time. I don't even remember what it sounded like because I don't think I listened to it, but someone had sent, I think it was a cassette inside of a Ritz cracker box. And it was somehow tied in with like their band name, but when I saw that, I was like, is that the best? You know?
Maybe you need to put a little, there's a reason people have agents.
Right.
You know,
Just try a little bit harder.
just a little bit harder. You're probably a pretty good musician and probably a poor businessman,
Yeah.
which is the case a lot of times with musicians.
They needed Earl Scruggs' wife.
They did. They needed Louise, man. Louise, everybody needs a Louise to promote their act.
Just leave her at home for the jams.
Yeah, just leave her at home for the jams because she don't need to be bossing people. So, Jasmine, this has been a lot of fun.
I've had a good time.
Thank you for coming down.
Yeah.
You got a good story. It's good.
Well, thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. We'll have to do it again. I'll bring a sun drop.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.